Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about all of my cross stitch and my quilting and my costuming. My name is Catherine and I'm really happy if you are a returning subscriber. I'm happy that you're coming back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you see something that makes you want to subscribe, ring the bell, and do all the things. And hopefully comment. It's always nice to have a new friend out there in Flosstube land. So let's jump right in. So this is my Flosstube number 28. So I'm just kind of squeaking in, getting my June video done. And tomorrow is my birthday. I'm going to stitch most of the day. And then my husband and I, he made reservations to go out to dinner to a white tablecloth place. So I get to put on big girl clothing and go out to dinner and enjoy his company. So looking forward to doing that, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I will be stitching on my birthday in my plans. But right now let's jump right into some finishes. I have been finishing things. I'm pretty excited. I've got 4 things to share with you, and I'm gonna start off with the first thing I have had finished, and this is from Plum Street Samplers, and when I say finish, I mean fully finished. So they're framed and fully finished. So this is Corgi Caboodle, and I've had it for a long time, and I've actually had it finished for quite a while, but had not fully finished it. I thought I would do a pillow like she shows here on the cover. I think that's adorable. But I didn't have the trim. I would have had to, which is fine. I could make do with what I have. And then I started looking around at some of the frames that I have just collected through years of thrifting and looking at what I have. And I found this, and it had this old picture of the Mona Lisa in it, but it was a beautiful frame. I found it at the thrift store for a couple of dollars, and it fits us perfectly. And I'll talk about the changes I made to this. So there it is. Get in close for you. What I did differently is I just shifted around a little bit, and I put a crown on the middle corgi, because when I stitched this, it was in, sorry, my phone is making noises. When I stitched it, it was when we lost Queen Elizabeth. So I added a crown for that and put the ear on. And what else did I do? I think that's all. That's all I did. So you can see I put a little 22 over one there. And yeah, that one's done. So that hangs up. I fully finished the back with just some scrapbook paper. And I really love it. Do I know what I did it on? I think it's I know it's a Picture This Plus, and it feels like it is Heartland. I believe that's what it was. It might be Legacy. And 36 count. I used the called for flosses, and I stitched 1 strand of floss over 2, and that's how it turned out. Let's go on here. This next one, again, I've had this one done for quite a while. I don't have the pattern pulled out, but you'll recognize it. It's by Brenda Gervais, and it is Happy Birthday America. And I stitched this as a stitch along with my friend Barbara, the Raspberry Stitcher. She finished hers quite a while ago and fully finished it. And I had it in my tub to finish, but I didn't have the proper size of box that it goes on. And all I could find, I couldn't find it at Michael's at the time. I have since found it. But at the time I couldn't find it. And so I went to the dollar store thinking maybe they have it. Well, they had like these little gift round boxes, and it was the right circumference, but it was too tall. So I hemmed and hawed about that, and finally I just got out the box cutter, marked it, cut it down, and it worked. And I'm going to show it to you, and that is how it turned out. It's so cute. I'm going to talk about some finishing ideas for you too if you're doing this. And this is the pattern where this fabric comes with the pattern when you buy it, and I believe that you can get it from Country Stitches online, which is Brenda Gervais' site. I didn't check before I filmed. Sometimes it goes down when she's on vacation or taking a break, but usually it's up, and it usually will have all of the things that you need to do this. I couldn't find the box or the little candle holder that goes with to make the bottom. So but I did find that on Amazon. It was in a pack of, I think, 8. If I can find my link, I will link that below so you can get those as well. So I painted this box red. I tried to make it look kind of folky. I didn't sand it yet or put wax on it, but I might still do that. It's kind of lumpy, and you can see, oops, I'm going to talk about that too. You can see that it's got, you know, I didn't finish the bottom because honestly you don't really see that part, and I wanted to get on with the stitching. So what just happened is I love this. She talks about gluing the top on, and I thought about doing that, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll just leave it so the top comes off, and I can you can see how I laced that, and then I glued the lady dot trim to the outside, the pom-pom trim, and just did that, glued that on there like that. I didn't cut it off that, and I didn't cut it down off the bottom either. I just glued it, and then I put this over the top. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions. So basically, when they, in the finishing instructions, they tell you to cut that pom-pom trim off that lip of the trim, and then glue it on last. And then I just wanted to leave it like that. So what I might do is cover this, and then make a circle out of foam core that is like this size, and glue it onto the base of this, and then be able to just keep this on here, so I can store things in it if I want to, if I actually get the those just pin, you know what I'm talking about, the little decorative pins that go in the top of this that look like stars and things like that, and I thought I would do that. So if I do that, then I will put those in here. I did want to just mention one thing about the finishing that I did on this, and this is on a 35 count that I did this on, and I used the called for flosses. And what I did that might help you if you decide to do this as well. When I did finish this top part, I did a backing on it of an iron-on Pellon that's very lightweight, and then I did the bow. And the way I did the bow is I took the floss and I rubbed it through wax, and this is something that I have learned through my costuming too. If I want to make my my floss or my threads stronger, I can rub it through the wax, run it through the waxer. I use beeswax, and then I iron it. So I'll take the strand of floss, run it through the wax, put it on a paper towel, fold the paper towel over the top of it, and then I will just iron it and pull the wax, or pull the floss out through that. And what it does is it keeps that floss from unraveling, and it makes it easier to work with when you're doing this kind of fiddly work where you're tying it on your piece, and then you can mold your floss a little bit and make it look kind of like it's blowing in the wind. So that's just a little tip from me to you. I don't have a lot of them, so I've got to use the ones I have. Okay, my next one is from the Blackbird book. Let me see if I have that book out here because I pulled it out. Yeah. So it's from Sweet Land of Liberty. Pausing here. Okay, I had to pause. Sorry, my things went spilling. It's from Sweet Land of Liberty, the Blackbird book. And I have wanted to do something out of this. I wanted to do the one I did, this one here, In Full Glory. Well, there's a lot I want to do out of that, but that was something that I decided to do for Cross Stitch Camp 2023. So Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher, and I'll link her below. As you know, you probably watch her and you probably are diving into Cross Stitch Camp. She had the prompt for June to be something with a bird on it. And let's be honest, most of the things I stitch have birds on them. I do a lot of historical work, a lot of samplers and things like that, but this was something that I've wanted to do forever, and I just love it so much. And I love the way they have it finished here on a pillow. But then I was watching, I think it was Barbara from the Raspberry Stitcher. I think she did a flat fold finish, and I thought, I don't think it was this, Barbara. I don't think it was this particular one, but it made me start thinking about a flat fold finish. So I went on to Vonna Pfeiffer's website and typed in her YouTube channel, and I typed in flat fold, and up this popped, and I thought, let's go, let's do it. So I've tried flat fold finishes before, but this one I really leaned into and tried to follow her directions to a T, and I could not be more pleased. So this is In Full Glory by Blackbird Designs, finished by me. I'm going to get you in a little closer here. I love it. I used the called for flosses. And this is a piece of 36 count Forbidden Fiber Company fabric called Frozen. It's something I had in my stash. I don't know if they still make it. I don't know if you can find it, but that's what it was. I didn't have a piece of grayish kind of fabric, which I think probably would have looked better with the colors that I chose. I did change out the lighter color to a silk that I had in my stash, and everything else is the same. Oh no, you know what I did? The blue is different too. I used, let me see if I can pull it out here. I used, I think it's called Freedom, and it is by Gentle Arts, and that is the color it is. I just liked that color blue. So let's talk about this. So that is the back fabric. I don't know, again, it's something I had from my stash. It could have possibly been a piece of fabric that I purchased at a thrift store. I don't know. And so again, following Vonna's tutorial, perfect. I also followed her tutorial, her latest one, on how to do the cording, and I had tried the earlier video on how to do cording where she hung it from a hook, and I just couldn't get it. I could not understand. I couldn't do the tension right. But the latest one where you have it clamped, that worked out great for me. And I made quite a large piece to do this, and I'm really glad I kind of overthought it because it didn't all turn out great. And it's not perfect, but it's perfect to me. It's perfectly good, and I could not be more thrilled. And I have to say thank you to Vonna Pfeiffer again and again for her generosity of sharing all of her professional finishing tips for us so that we can try to get the same results that she gets. And what a kind person. She's just a treasure. She is a treasure to this community, and I'm sure you would agree as well. So showing her lots of love. So next one out of this, boy, I don't know. There's so many great, I would love to do Abigail Adams. Salute to Abigail. That is so pretty. But I have so many big girls going right now, and that one's not terribly big, but I just don't want to start anything large that is patriotic right now. And I think I was watching Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, my friend, who was talking about patriotic stitching, and she loves it. I love it too, but it feels like it kind of sneaks up on me. Like I want it now, and that's why the small things are really gratifying. The bigger ones, I've got to start way earlier in the year, or like the previous year, to have it finished for July. So that was finished number 3. That was 3. Okay, the pièce de résistance. Okay, so this is like, I don't even know what I just said. So this one is, I'm so proud of the finishing on this. It's not perfect. Again, perfect to me, and I'm gonna love it. So on my wall, I did Jane Stanwix, 1843. And I have already passed the chart on to a friend of mine, so I just wanted to show you really quick how I finished it. I've showed this sampler finished before, but not fully finished it. I stretched it, and my husband cut this frame down. I found the frame at my local Michael's in their $8 frame section. And we cut it down using Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim. She has a great tutorial tips on how to do this type of, how to measure to cut your frames down. And so that's what we used. And that is my finish. Isn't it great? I love it so much. I love this frame with it. And one of the reasons why I know it's a big fussy frame and it's kind of a simple sampler. I love the sampler to death. I just love it. So one of the reasons why I really like this frame with it is because of this movement in the frame. Feels like it's almost mirroring the tulips in this. And yeah, it really works well. It's on, let's see what I have it on. Actually did a little library card so I would know. A 36 count Weeks Dye Works parchment. I used my own floss conversion, so I just looked at the cover photo and I tried my best to stay true to what was on the cover. I've talked about this in previous episodes, so if you're curious, and you'd like to know what I used, just send me a message on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Trinkety. I'll put my handle there, and I'll also put it below. And you can message me there, or you can send an email to stitchingandcostume@gmail.com, and or leave a comment. I look at all the comments. I try to respond to all the comments, and if you have a question about something especially, I try to respond if you're curious about any of the colors here. What I changed in this, I kept it pretty true. I did change this line here to reflect my family initials, so I will make sure to make a note of that. So next generations that get this will know who did it, where it came from, and what year it was stitched. So that is Jane Stanwix. Love it, love it, love it. Let's dive into my whips now. So I've been working on quite a few things. I thought I had a lot more than I do, but you know what? It's all good. So I'm going to start off. I've made a pile. I've ironed things to some degree and made a pile, so I'm going to dive into my pile. This first piece is something that I was inspired to start through a couple of ladies. So Kristy, who is Daisy K's Primitives, started doing the Carriage House sampler stocking. I had this in my stash and I had always wanted to start it. So when I saw Kristy start it, I thought, that's it. I can't take it anymore. I've got a lot of things going on, but I'm gonna start it. So I pulled this out to start, and I believe I showed you on my last Flosstube my start of it. So another person that inspired me was Angie, the tiny house stitcher, who is doing a sampler, not a sampler, I'm sorry, a stocking sal for summer. It's called Summer Stocking Sal. Let me make sure I got that hashtag right. Summer Stocking Sal. And I will, anytime I have a hashtag or I'm talking about that, I'm going to put it across here so that you can see. I will also put it in the information below. And it's just a fun way for us to all cheer each other on and to see what other people are doing, get inspired, and all of that. So this one I'm using the called for DMC, and I did substitute one thing, and I'll talk about that in a second. This is on a piece of 36 count parchment, and that would be Weeks Dye Works, and that is where I am. So I came down. I'm doing so many eyelet stitched alphabets right now. I decided to do Smyrna crosses for this one, and I come on here and I'll just do maybe two or maybe just one of the letters, and then I jump down. So I got myself so I could get down to the fun part, which is, to me, the bird and the people below, and then all the other things that go on down there. And I'll start off doing one of the Smyrna cross alphabet, and then I'll pop down. So that's where I am on it. I'm clipping along. This is just something I pick up randomly, but I have been making some progress on it, so I did want to update you and show you. What is the change I made for the vines here? The color that it called for was too light on my fabric, so I chose Piney Woods, and that seemed to give me just the look I wanted to get the stocking look, and I think it's pretty close. I'm probably going to change, she has a white dress on, and I'm probably going to change just a little bit about that. I'm not sure I'm going to do it in white, but we'll see. I kind of like the idea of a red dress, but I don't know yet. We'll see. There we are, and I'm loving that. And this piece of fabric is enormous. My daughter was looking at it, and we were joking that I'm going to make this into an actual stocking to wear. I would if I could. I've said that before about several of my things. I want to wear it. This next one I did not work on, but I ironed it to give me some momentum, and I thought I'd show it to you again. This is Harriet Goddard by Hands Across the Sea, and I pulled it out of my Andrea bag, and Andrea and I did this. She already finished it, and so that is what the finished product will look like. And this is on a 40 count Geo Vanilla by Tropical Stitches, and that's where I am on it. And I'm using the Vicki Clayton hand-dyed fibers silks, and I couldn't love it more. I just love it. It's just one of those things I haven't, I don't know, it just gets put away, and then I haven't picked it up for a month, and now for July I'm definitely going to pick it up. So hopefully next time you see this, it will be finished. If it's not finished by my next video, I probably won't show it. I probably will not show it until I'm done, so we'll see about that. You'll see I have a lot of plans and a lot of hopes and dreams on things to stitch. Okay, we're moving on here. I am ahead on this one. This is a Sal through, I believe it's not tropical stitches, it's traditional stitches up in Canada. And I believe that's who it was, but I'm going to look and see just to make sure. Nope, it's not on there. Well, shoot. If I got that wrong, I'll flash it across here. It's either Traditional Stitches or Hobby House Needleworks. It could be Hobby House. Again, I'm using Victoria Clayton silks for this. There are a lot of people doing this, Sal. And like I said, I'm a little bit ahead, and that's where I am. That is actually July's assignment, so I'm going to be working across here into the middle and starting that big motif in the middle that has the bow and the flowers. This is a piece of 36 count vintage purled barley by Lakeside. I know Lakeside is hard to find sometimes. I found this when I was in person at the Needle in a Haystack in Alameda, and so I was thinking about that because it's kind of hard. Well, it's definitely hard to find Lakeside, and it's really hard for me to find it by perusing the internet. It's hard for me to find it online. So if I can call like the Attic or Needle in a Haystack or one of the other places. I know a lot of people will mention places that they get their Lakeside from, and so if I call one of those places, I'm more likely to find it than just trying to find it on a website, because I think it comes in and it goes out so quickly into the shops that if you can call and say, listen, I really would like a piece of vintage purled barley, do you think you can help me out with that? I think we might have better luck finding pieces like that. There's a lot of great fabric out there. That's just one that I absolutely love that is consistently great. I'm going to show you another piece right now on some fabric that is consistently great for me. This is on a piece of Needle in Flax Dirty Teacup, and it's a 36 count. This is something I wanted to start. This is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. It's Betsy's Summer Basket. Perfect project to be doing right now. The 36 count is really easy for me to see if I am sitting at night stitching and using my magnifier by the TV, watching TV. So let's look at it. It is, that's where I am on it. Delicious. I love it so much. I'm still thinking that the bottom border has lighter flowers. I use the called for flosses. I just feel like they're too light and too ghosty for me. So I'm gonna be pulling those out probably one at a time and doing, I'll show you what I have here. I have called for flosses, but I am gonna change those lighter flowers to, it's called Highland Heather by the Gentle Art, and I think it's gonna read way better. Well, it's gonna read, those are not reading at all to me. And I don't have a problem with ghosty things sometimes, but I really want to see the flowers. So that's where I am on it. This is Rosetta Featherstone. Poor Rosetta was just languishing in my whip basket for ever. And I finally pulled her out, and that's what she looks like. And this was something that I absolutely had to have. Believe it's Hobby House Needleworks. Yes, it is. Did an exclusive with this, and it's Hands Across the Sea, and this is the one that on the back has the Jane Elizabeth 1876. Did I get that right? Yes, I did. And I am using, I don't even have my flosses. I'm using the Call for DMC on this. And I didn't bring the flosses up because I just pulled this off my Q-snap this morning. I have this on my frame that I stand up at in the morning. And you can see, I mean, I pulled it out and went, wow, I got that border all the way around, and then I put it away. So I finished up her name on the bottom. I did that little motif on this side here with the yellow flowers, and I also started on the tree. And we've got this on a piece of, what do I have here? 36 count antique lace by Seraphim, and this is a really pretty fabric. It is, it's warm, and I venture to say it's got some yellowy undertones, but it works well with all of these beautiful greens and reds. It's going to be gorgeous, and not terribly big, easy to frame. Looks like a pretty true square. So if you wanted to stitch it, I think, I don't know that it's still available, but you could probably find it quite easily on the secondary market. I would think a lot of people have already finished it. I started it a year, 2 years ago maybe, and then squirrel, got into something else. And this lives in my Kathy Holden fabric bag that I made. Talk more about the bags in a second. Okie dokie. Okay, so this is the last whip I'm going to share. I'm not sure that I have shared this yet. This is something, no, it's not my last whip, but this is something that I was watching Carol, the Saltbox Stitcher, and she has this on her wall behind her, and I finally just said, I can't take it anymore. I have to order this. So this is by Brenda Gervais, and I believe I got it on her website. There's a lot of places you can get this. Just, you know, do a Google search for it. It's beautiful. It is 163 wide by 176 high, so it's not terribly big. Now, it does have all of the eyelet alphabet. Again, this is probably like 4 of them that I'm doing right now. There's a lot of eyelet alphabet. So again, I'm opting in to the Smyrna crosses. Totally fine, right? It's all good. It's going to look just as beautiful to me. Having all the Smyrna crosses, and doesn't need to have all the eyelets. Let me see what I'm doing this with. I'm pretty sure I'm using all the called for flosses. I am. And I got really revved up when I was prepping this, and I laminated all of the sheets of the keys on what to do, each one of the different eyelet alphabets. And did I change the red? Yes, I did. Let me tell you about that. So I changed this to tulip. So it called for pomegranate, and my pomegranate was pink. So I opted for tulip by Belsois, and it's Classic Colorworks Belsois. And it's a beautiful red. It gives you a lot of good variegation from light to dark, and it feels fresh. It's a fresh feeling red. With all that variegation, and that's where I am on it. This is again a 36 count piece of Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax, and you can see how wonderful everything looks on this linen. Let me see if I can get back there and get more true representation of the fabric, and then I'll come in for a close-up. And there she is. So I've got that bottom part done, and now I'm moving up into the alphabet, and there's no scooching down and up for me. I've got to really focus on alphabet and border at this time. But the Smyrna crosses go quickly, and they're all different colors, which is a little bit more fun. So putting on something that I can listen to and doing Smyrna crosses is what I do sometimes in the afternoon. But that bottom part was super fun to do. looking good. So looking forward to getting that one completed and framed. Last one I have, and I'm not sure I did a ton of work on this one. I didn't iron this, but it's so pretty. So this is something that I found on 1884 Stitchery. Oh, see, I'm going to talk about this now. Okay, I went to pull out, now I printed this pattern up on the PDF, from a PDF. So I printed it on my computer, on my printer. And I put it in one of these bags. So these I just get at one of the shops that are close to me that it's called a Daiso. It's like a Japanese dollar store. And I love them because they have this little pocket in front that you can put things in, and then a bigger pocket, right? So I printed this up and put it in here, and look what's happening. As I try to pull it out, it's completely sticking. And you can see what happened there. And I know Sherry Colorado Cross Stitcher was just talking about this, and if this happens to one of your project bags, you can take a piece of, I want to say she said rubbing alcohol. I'm not sure. I haven't tried yet. It might dull the plastic. So I'll probably just try a damp cloth first and see how much of that residue I can get off. And if I can't, I'll figure out, I'll do bits at a time. Hey, you know, it's from the dollar store. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. What's more importantly is I don't want to have that happen to one of my Blackbird Designs books, right? So you can see what it has done to this paper, and I have had it happen to charts that I have purchased that it's damaged the front of the chart. So just be mindful when you are putting things into those plastic front bags that you have something, you know, in front of this. So like what I could do is I could take, I could put the flosses and lay those in there in front of it. I mean, the idea, right, is to see what you have in there. So if you have your page cover covered, it's like defeats the purpose to me. But anyway, that is the story with that. So it's the ES Spot Motif Sampler. I saw Celeste Creates finish it and start to work on it and then finish it, and I thought, oh, that is just glorious. So I got a piece of 40 count platinum, and I had never worked with that before, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it for this. And I got the called for flosses. Did I get all the called for flosses? Let me see here. Let me make sure. Called for flosses, I did. And I subbed out, I believe I subbed out Turkish red, but I could be wrong about that. It might actually call for Turkish red. So EF's Spot Motif Sampler, and I wrote on my little tag here that is 40 count platinum, called for plus subs. So I did sub something, and it usually is a red that I'm subbing. So I might have used Turkish red instead of what it called for, but I'll let you know. So that's where I am on that, and I don't think I've done a ton on it, if I've done any, since you've seen it last. But it's really, really pretty. I love the border. I believe this is carnations on the border and tulips. And you can see my white kind of goes out, which that's what the chart looks like. So I went with it. And that concludes my whips. So again, I'm going to pause here for a second, kind of move things around so I don't have everything sliding off the table again, and then I'll be right back. Now I have a couple of thank yous to do before I progress any further into my plans, and I have quite a few plans, so please stick around. A couple of thank yous to say. My friend Andrea, who is from Australia, had come over to America to go to StitchCon. If you were there, I think it was weekend B. I want to say weekend B. I hope you got to meet her and say hello. And I'm sorry I missed her, but she is here in the States right now, and we're going to try and do a Zoom before she heads back over. And so she asked me to borrow a chart, and I said sure. So I sent the chart off to her son's house because it was easier for her to pick it up here than have me ship it all the way over there. It's not that far, but you know what I mean. They're flat, they're easy to store in your suitcase, and so I did that. And as a thank you, she sent me a nice gift, and I have to show the card. First of all, it got a little bent in the mail. Oh my gosh, isn't he cute? I love koala bears. Oh my gosh. Well, who doesn't? He's adorable. I want to laminate him and use him for something. I don't know what, but thank you, Andrea, for that. And she also sent me some fun needle bling, or not needle bling, but you know, a fun piece of jewelry for my scissors. And a beautiful, beautiful bag that she made. She's a very gifted seamstress. She's very good. I'm gifted, I mean she works very hard, and she has a lot of attention to detail. It looks like something you would find in a high-end Pebble Beach shop or something. It's so pretty. And this, I love it so much. It's a little wallaby. And he's got, if you squeeze his back, he's got little fingers that, or arms that hug you. So what I had him do, because on this little charm she gave me has a little can of beer, and it's from the town that she lives in. So I had him holding the beer, and the things I do to amuse myself. There he is. So again, thank you, honey. I really love it, and it's already in service. So, okay, this next thing. Now, this is a friend who wants to remain anonymous. I respect that completely, and I'm the same way. I don't need recognition if I send a gift to somebody or a thank you, whatever. But I can't not say thank you, my friend, for the beautiful birthday gift she sent me. And I have to share this with you because I'm not going to share the whole gift with you, but I'll share this with you because it's just was gobsmacked. Okay? Look at this. This Whitman's sampler box. Now, I have had an all points bulletin put out with my family. If you see one of these in the thrift store or resale shop, antique shop, whatever, pick it up. I'll pay you back for it. And this is one of the old tins that used to house, and it's on a hinge, which perfect. I don't have to fitz around with it. I can just hinge it open. And it has all these cute motifs around. It used to have chocolate in it, which, hey, chocolate's great. But what's in it now is a bunch of antique buttons that she sent me. I started crying when I opened her gift. First of all, it was out of the blue and so kind. And I'm not going to pull everything out, but it's got like all of these really incredible buttons. Look at black jet buttons. These are things that I look for costumes. So thank you. It just blows me away. And I already have uses for some of these buttons that I'm going to talk about in a second. Not a second, but in a moment. I'm going to talk about a costuming plan that I have. But in this, it has got like these pearl buttons. I don't know if they're reading as being pearly, but they're very pearly and vintage. Is it bad to use things and take them off the cards? I hope not, because I intend to put them on a historical garment. I hope that's okay. So that was a thrill, a complete thrill. And I have to show this because this is something her mother made. And I am so honored to have this. It's a handkerchief that has crocheted netting around the outside with beautiful black beads. And I've already told her I'm going to be carrying this to Dickens Fair this year. I even thought, let's see if I can do it. I might have to edit this part. Don't be surprised if you see a cut. I have seen people at Dickens Fair wear their beautiful handkerchiefs with decoration on in a little triangle with their hair up in their curls and a beautiful bonnet. That whole thing all together looks great, but me just slapping this on my head right now is not something I'm prepared to do. So, but that may be how I wear it, or I may just carry it with my gloves. So again, it's a treasure, and thank you, and thank you. And your mother's gift, your mother's legacy will live on, and have some fun dancing at Fezziwigs. Okay, those are my thank yous. And I'd like to say thank you to everybody that leaves a comment or connects with me through Instagram, Facebook, and through Flosstube. I love this community. I say it all the time. My friend radius expands, and people that really understand why I jabber on about this stuff for as long as I do. So, love you guys. Love it. Not for the gifts all the time. The gifts are icing on the cake. It's for the connection that is so treasured. Okay, let's move on to my haul. Not a lot of haul. I'm surprised to say that, actually. It is my birthday tomorrow, so I have been kind of starting to acquire things, and my husband and I are the kind of people that are like, hey, do you mind if I buy this for my birthday? No, go ahead, buy that for your birthday. His is usually tool related, and mine is usually stitching related. So I do have a little bit of it here, and I will share that. I got a Lowry stand. I found it on, I believe it was called Love Crafts, and I don't know how it popped up in my feed somewhere as being on sale for, it was a little over $100, and I thought, I've wanted one for a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and get that and talk to him about it. He's like, yep, that sounds like a good birthday gift. And I said, yes, it does. So I got the Lowry stand, and I have it downstairs. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where I want it to function best for me. I do a lot of stand-up. In the morning, I'll stand up and stitch. I thought I could use the Lowry stand at night instead of like the lap frame that it's not a frame, it's a tray. And then I just stitch in hand with a hoop, and I have my magnifier. So I'm still trying to figure that Lowry stand out in my life. I can pull it up in here into my sewing room and stitch two-handed. Right now I have it in another downstairs room. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitchy spots in the house, and I don't see a problem with that. I hope you don't either. My husband seems to be okay with that, but it's in a different room that actually gets a little too much sun for me, so that might have to move. Anyway, I'm rambling. So anyway, I got the Lowry stand, and I also got this, and I thought I would use this for Colorado Cross Stitchers July challenge, which is to stitch something that grows. Now, let me tell you a quick story about this because I just found this. I bought this the beginning of June, and I've been keeping a running tab in my book of days of the things that I purchased so I can kind of see what I'm purchasing, slow it down a little bit, or if I haven't purchased my fabric for the month, it's time to go look for some fabric of the month. I do my own fabric of the month club where I just look for fabric that I've really wanted to collect and grab it, which I've got a couple pieces here, but so I bought this. I'll show it to you. Sweet Summer Come Again by Blackbird Designs. I went on to 123 Stitch, kitted, not kitted, but I bought all the flosses for it, and I bought the chart. And I had it in this, and I thought, okay, I'm going to tuck it away for July to stitch for cross stitch camp. And darned if I could not find this. I ran around for the better part of an hour yesterday, and I tore apart everything. I opened all the bags that I had working projects in. I went through my baskets. I've got 2-3 baskets where it could possibly be. Went through each project in those baskets. I looked through my fabric boxes. I looked through project bags that I haven't looked in for a long time. I had no idea what I did with this until I came up to get ready to film this video. I looked over to my left and I have a pegboard in my sewing room that's in plain sight, and this was hanging on the pegboard, and I was like, oh gosh, I guess I'm not going to find it. There it is. So thank goodness I have found it. I could not be more happy because I was like so depressed thinking, I guess I'm not going to stitch it because I don't want to buy it again. I've got to have a better system for, getting my stuff organized. So anyway, it's on my pegboard. And I'm going to start with this one. I have all of the flosses ready to go. Not sure what I'm going to stitch it on, but I've got a couple of pieces of fabric. Let me show you what I have. So this is a 36 count Vintage Country Mocha, which, it's not my favorite, but I love it. And every single time I have seen somebody show on their Flosstube a project that they're doing on Vintage Country Mocha, I want that fabric. I'm like, it's so inexpensive. I think I got this on eBay. It's 18 by 27 piece, and I believe I paid less than $20 for it. It's got a beautiful hand. As you know, Vintage Country Mocha has it's printed, so one side has the design or the modeling, and the other side is blank. And it's a good, thick, nice linen. It's a beautiful linen. So that's a contender for that. I also have a piece of this, which this is my new obsession, is going on to tropical stitches. And I got a piece of Optina, and it is so pretty. I'm going to hold it up against the Country Mocha. It's cooler, and this is a 36 count. I'm finding I'm more into the 36 count right now. I just feel like it's easy on my eyes, and I like the results as much as the 40 count. So I just tend to go with, ooh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's taupey with just a hint of cream, taupey cream. Oh, yes, this will be reserved for a special sampler. And so I'm going to show you that with the Vintage Country Mocha. Let me pull some white fabric up. So this is just a piece of white scrap fabric that I have. It's a cotton voile. And let me do a proper display for you. Let's see here. that. Tropical Stitches, Vintage Country Mocha, and a plain bright white. Switch it up so you can see this one, the Optina against the bright white as well. There you go. So that is my fabric haul. I've got one more piece of haul I'm going to share with you. And this is something I found on eBay. I don't know. I think it's out of print. It's Prairie Schooler Book 33. I'm into the small sampler stockings, and I love this one. And it was a very nice seller. She sent me a nice, like almost a letter size description of how she collected charts for years and what they meant to her. It was so sweet. I'm going to send her a note back because she was so sweet. I can't show you the back, it's the chart, but I do like this one too. But this is what I'm probably going to start with. And you can pull out little designs, as you know, with Prairie Schooler, and do smalls or ornaments from each of the designs. I like the camel. I would do just the camel. That's pretty cute too. So that concludes my haul. That's not bad, right? So another idea for my summer camp for July is to do one of the red work pairs. I have done this one in pink and have not fully finished that yet, but I will. You know, I'm going to throw this in here right now because I'm thinking about it. I had wanted to do a pair tutorial on how I finish a pair. Now there's great tutorials out there. Vonna Pfeiffer has an excellent one, and I think it's Country Stitchers. I think they have one as well, and there's probably more. I do it similar but a little bit different, and you know, you can glean different things from different people, so I'm talking about doing that. And my nails are awful. I want to do a tutorial where I'm just showing my hands, you know, with an overhead view, but I keep looking at my fingernails going, oh, I'm so ashamed of them. I mean, I used to get my fingernails done professionally, and had the resin and all of the fill, and you know, they're gorgeous. And I had them for years, and then when COVID hit, I stopped. And I realized how much I was spending on my fingernails, and I thought, I don't want to do that anymore. It was a lot of money that I could be spending on charts, and also it was time for me to drive into town and to sit there for an hour and then to drive back. Now the good thing is they last for 2 weeks, and I don't have, you know, nails that are snagging and catching and splitting and cracking, which is what I have. Anyway, I'm always on a quest for how to help my fingers feel better, and it helps me feel more confident in the way I work with different things. If my fingernails are not catching on stuff, I think you'll know what that means if you have the same problem. Anyway, I see all these people doing these tutorials that have perfect fingernails, so it's kind of stopped me. And I did want to talk about that a little bit, like what do you do to help your fingernails and your hands. It's so important for us as stitchers. These are the most important tools we have. You can have all the Kahana scissors in the world. You can have every kind of needle there is to have. You can have the best, you know, Millennium frame, the Lowry stands. You have all of these great tools, but when it gets down to it, these are your best tools. So what do you do to keep your hands working for you and in good shape? A couple of the things I do now, I'm not the best, you know, person to tell you what to do, but everybody's hands are different, right? You know, everybody has different issues with their fingernails catching or not catching. Maybe your fingernails are too long and you've got to constantly clip them. I have, from an early age, I have a nail that just kind of splits down the side that way. And so I'm always looking for that perfect fix for that. So I've got this product on Amazon, and I'm not affiliated with anybody. I'm only going to link it if you're interested. I'll link it below, but I think it's called Bariel, and it does helps me not have my nails catch as much. The trick is keeping it on my nails because my hands go in water a lot, and I'm gardening and they get beat up. So what I'll do, like Sunday morning, I'll try to always do this and remember to do this. I do something where I will take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can use coconut oil, whatever oil, and I put a dollop on my palm, and then I'll take a spoonful of sugar. I use the coarse sugar, the coarse brown sugar, and not brown sugar that you get in the box. I think it's called Demerara sugar, and it's more crystally. I don't use salt because salt dries. I use sugar, and I'll put that on top like a teaspoon, right? And then I rub it, and I rub it into my hands, and I really work it in up to, up my wrists, and I scrub my fingertips with it, and then I get my brush out, and then I do Dawn dish soap so I get the oil off, blah 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 blah, and my hands are so soft and so smooth after that. And then if I want to put my fingernail polish on, which I usually do, I usually put a clear coat on there afterwards. I'll hit it with just the tip with a little bit of nail polish remover just to get all of that oil off, and then I do just a thin layer of polish, and within 10 minutes that's dry enough for me to start stitching. Little tip from me to you, I call it sweet grease for my fingers, right? So if you have a tip for fingernails or hands and how you work with, like, especially silks, it wants to catch, your rough skin. And if my nails get too short, my skin gets really rough and splits around the tip. It's maybe too much information for you, but I appreciate any tips, and I'm sure if you're wondering yourself and you want to look through the comments, you might glean some tip that might help you. And I hope whatever I can give you helps you a little bit if you're looking for that kind of help. Okay, and if you weren't, then that was 10 minutes that you didn't need to hear, and I'm sorry for that. Okay, another possibility for my June or July Colorado cross stitch or something that grows would be this Leela Studio 1862 small sampler. I love that as well. I just feel like it might be a little too ambitious for me to take on. It looks like a lot more stitching in that than I'm willing to commit to for a month long and hopefully finish in a month, but I might start it anyway. I have it kitted, or partially kitted. Okay, this falls into haul as well as start. So I will be starting this and working on this probably tomorrow. So I have some birthday plans. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna walk the dogs early and get my coffee. I might take a shower, I might not. I might stay in my pajamas and start stitching. And so these are the things that I will be working on for my birthday. I'm gonna be starting new things. So the first new thing I will be starting is something that I got on, I believe it's, oh gosh, I should know this, Homespun. It's the Facebook group, Homespun Needlework. And they offer, I will flash it here, they offer exclusives periodically. And right now they're doing an exclusive that is a Quaker. Let me see if I have it written down. homespun needlework. They're doing an exclusive with Hobby House Needleworks, and it's a Quaker, and it's called Hannah Wilson. And she was stitching this in the 1700s. It's an Ackworth sampler, Ackworth school sampler. And I'm gonna flash a picture here of what it looks like. It's a big girl. It is 266 by 394. It's beautiful, and it is a brownish color, so I know the Weeks floss that you would be using if you used Weeks is Tatanka, which is kind of a dark brown, chocolatey brown. It's really beautiful. You can go onto the Facebook group to join, and then they have a link there for you to click to take you over to Hobby House Needleworks, and that's where you can purchase the kit. And I think she posted this morning, so it's Friday. She posted this morning what the sampler was and the link. The kit might be sold out, but the good thing about this is as long as it's up, you can pre-order it and it will get to you, which is what I did with this one I've got in my hand here. So this is a Whilst Iris Naps Designs. And a lot of people have showed this. I was watching Judy Stitching Bunny. She has this that she's going to be starting, or she's already started. She started it up here, I think. So I went on and got this kit, and I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can pull out. Sorry for the crinkling. It's a needle and flax, thorn filled is the fabric. And I got a 40 count because I've got, ooh, so pretty. I've got a lot of big samplers going, and this is no joke. It's a big sampler, but it's so pretty. I couldn't pass it up. It's got the two houses. Unfortunately can't get it anymore, so if you missed out, I'm sorry, but it's inspiration, right? There's a lot of beautiful things out there, and I didn't take the flosses. I did get the Weeks Dye Works conversion that she showed. I think the model was stitched, and I don't want to take it out because look at how pretty. They're tucked in bed, so pretty. Let's see what the reds are. It's called Turkish Red, which I have in my Spot motif sampler. It takes quite a bit of it, but it gives you that variegation that it shows on here. But she's also charted it for needlework for DMC and Soie de Jais, and I think there was another one that they did. Was it? No, I think that was all. So that was through Hobby House, and it took a while for me to get it. I went on kind of late to the party. I had to kind of think about it for a moment, and I think when I saw other people posting about it, I thought, oof, I really have to get it. And it came with the Minnie McBean frippery. Isn't that cute? Scissor fob. The other thing I'm going to start here, coming up with my friends, Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, and also Barbara, the Raspberry Stitcher. We're all doing this, and it is Harriet Turner, and this is by Mojo Stitches, and Kim showed this on her last video. I've never done a Mojo Stitches, so I'm really excited to be trying this. I love the flowers. I think I'm going to just be doing this bottom portion. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the border or not. I might just do the pretty flowers. And the phrase it says is, "Who seeks to be first must rank himself last, and learn with complacence to wait on the least." Harriet Turner, 1868. I like the verse. So I may end up doing that. I got it fully kitted on 1, 2, 3 stitch with all of the flosses, which are on their ring ready to go. And those are them. And I decided to I pulled out all of my fabric, and so far this one's winning is a Russian tea cake by Access Commodities. Now I have a few things that are on Russian tea cake that are Hands Across the Sea samplers, and I really love working with it, and I love the color, and these flosses will look beautiful on it. So that's what I'm thinking will happen. Tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Actually, we're starting on the 5th of July. I'm sorry, girls. They're like, what? What are you talking about? The 5th, July 5th. And that is Kim's birthday. So that is the day we're going to be starting. And I made this little bag to go with it out of some pretty fabric that reminded me of Kim. Because it's pink, but it also looks like the sampler to me. And I made it using that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial. So the next thing I'm going to be starting tomorrow is a sal I am doing with Angie, the Tiny House Stitcher, Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot, and Michelle Hudson from Sacramento, California. And this is the Prairie Schooler Angels. Now, we wanted it to be something that a lot of people could jump in with. So the hashtag that we're using is Any Angel Sal. And this is something that you can pick up any of your projects, even if you have something already started, it has angels on it. Go ahead and hashtag that so we can cheer you on and we can see what you're working on. So I'm excited to be starting this, and I'm going to be using the DMC flosses. I've got a piece of Ada from 123 Stitch, that's 18 count. So I'm gonna put in a picture here too. I asked to make sure. One of my Instagram friends saw that we were going to be doing this, and she sent me a picture of her finish of all three of these. So her name is Lynn, and she is Needleworker Lynn on Instagram. If you don't follow her, go check her out. This is her finish. It's beautiful. It's in a gold frame, and she has matted it with this gold mat. It's glorious. Beautiful. I feel like I want to add a little bit of sparkle to mine. I might be doing a little bit of Etoile gold in there, just because I like working with Etoile. It's very forgiving. It doesn't get all hung up and caught on things. I'll be doing one strand of floss. I've learned my lesson with 18 count Ada, just one strand of floss. I've tried two, and it's not for me. So you can find this if you're looking for this Prairie Schooler. You can go on to 123 Stitch, and they do have this. This is not the cardstock. I don't care. It's all good to me. I can read the chart, I can follow the chart, and start that with my girlfriends. I'm excited. Stitchers unite. And this is the Birds of a Feather Happy Hearts sampler. A lot of people are doing this right now. So that is what it looks like. I've got called for flosses, things that I had in my stash, and then I purchased some. And the piece of fabric that I have is right now is Bee's Knees by Seraphim. Is that right? Bee's Knees by Seraphim. Think about that for a second. Sorry. And that is the fabric, which to me looked pretty close to the cover photo. The cover was stitched on the fabric that they dyed. One more thing I forgot. I will be starting tomorrow. I went on to the Wishing Thorn to see if I could find Jane Parsons, and they were out of it. I just missed the the kits that she had put out with the flower threads. So I sent Brigitte a message asking her if I could pre-order that kit. And she responded that she did have one of the wool kits left and would I like that? And I said, absolutely. So this is another one of my birthday starts. I'm very excited to actually get to try my hand at stitching with these fine wools. Very pretty colors, and I believe that is what the model is stitched with. It's not terribly big, so I'm hoping that I can make some good progress on it this year. I love the bird. I love all of it. It's so pretty, and I'm really, really looking forward. So thank you to the Wishing Thorn for making my wish come true. I wanted to talk about my unicorn chart is Lisi Sloboda, and I think I mentioned that last time, and McKenna from 1884 Stitchery sent me a message saying that she is in the works, hopefully, to be able to get the rights to Lisi Sloboda as well as a few other things, and hopefully be able to offer that through her site. So, wow. So that is so great. I am really excited. I'm hoping that that is going to come through. And not like I'm hurting for things to start, but that is on my unicorn list, and it's a really big chart, and it is going to take me a while to stitch, but it is so gorgeous. And if you haven't checked out Judy from Stitching Bunny, go check her out. She shows that, and on one of her floss tubes she shows her finish of that, and that's what made me drop what I was doing, run to my computer, and start to type in where I could find it, and it's out of print. So keeping our fingers crossed. Thank you, McKenna, for you know, the service you do this community by bringing these hard to find charts back into the fray and back into circulation so that we can get our hands on them and stitch them. Now I do have a giveaway for this one. Being it's my birthday and I want to share with you something from my hands to your hands, I am going to do a giveaway. So hold tight and I'm going to show you what I got. So this is for my subscribers. So people that are subscribers to the channel. If you're not a subscriber, trust me, I'm not going to, you know, bombard you with a lot of information and a lot of videos and anything unwelcome. I would suggest subscribing, and also, you know, ring that notification bell, and it will let you know when I upload, because I am usually once a month. That is my comfort zone, is when I feel that I have enough to share with you. I will be doing probably 2 in the month of July so that I can talk a little bit more about costuming specifically, that you can opt in or out of, and then I'll have a regular floss tube as well. At any rate, this giveaway is for subscribers, so please be a subscriber, please be 18, and I'm going to give you a word to use in order to be entered into this. You'll use it in a comment. You'll have to leave a comment. So this is something I made. I used the Kathy Holden fabric, and this is my own design. It is a project bag, and this is what it looks like. It's got a longer handle, so you can put it over your wrist. Sometimes you can go all the way up into your shoulder, just depending on what feels good to you. And I've got just a tiny bit of the plastic, and I'm calling this kind of my peekaboo bag, and I don't sell bags. I just make them for to give out as gifts or to keep my things in. But this is something I wanted to do just so I could kind of peek and see what's in there, but not have the whole thing covered with plastic and more likely to stick to a chart. So it's just a little bit at the top. I have 2 pockets here. So You can put your phone in on the outside, and sometimes if I'm going somewhere and I want to take some stitching with me, I can just put my phone in one side, or you can put a needle book in one side, and there's a smaller pocket on this side for whatever, your keys, whatever. The back, just plain. And it is lined with the same blue. And I'm also including in this one, I made a little thread bed, and you've seen those before. So it's just a piece of soft flannel and a place for you to place your flosses if you're using them already wound up and ready to go. And that's what that looks like. I love this Kathy Holden fabric. It's got all that ephemera on it. And this one I had to do for you guys because it says friend. So that is going to be, the word that you will use in the comment is friend. And I will probably draw for a winner for this in a couple of weeks. I'll come on, it'll be a shorter video most likely, it won't be quite this long. And I'm gonna have to edit this one way down. So yes, friend, and be a subscriber, be 18, so I can get your address, and leave a comment below. And if you want to include in your comment something to do with what you do to keep your hands needlework ready, I think it would help a lot of us to read through that and get some ideas. So until then, my friend, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July if you're actually in the States and you celebrate that, and staying safe with the fireworks if you do that. I'll be headed up to my sister's to celebrate with family. And love you all, and looking forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, everybody.